Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I am back first to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is reunion part 1. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. I really don't even know what the hell my notes say. Part of it was a bunch of overlapping conversations, not much organization or anything. But are the reunions ever organized? Child, they really not. Okay. It's always some overlapping conversation. And then part of it was me being over it. Okay, so we're gonna get through it the best way that we can. Just make sure that you guys are liking up this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Now let's get into it.
How we get up, just call back, right back. We can spend, then get it right back, man. She just gotta worry all of that, so that's why I bought.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead. The ladies are getting started, getting out of their vehicles, getting ready to get themselves together. Andy went to go check on Portia in her room, and he asked her a very stupid ass question. Okay, because I think she was like, "Is that Andy Cohen?" He was like, "Are we going naked?" Like, Andy, you reminded me of somebody, and you getting on my damn nerves. But aside from that, um, he comes in and he said, I really feel like we're gonna be able to make some progress with everyone but Shamia today. And she's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, exactly, like a dumbass question. Like, one, they not gonna make too much progress with Kelly. Be clear about it. But you already know she's gonna be in a better place with everybody than Shamia. Like, why the fuck you in her room? Like, get out. Let that lady get dressed and leave her the hell alone. Anyway, Jarvis, he shows up. Okay, now when Jarvis shows up, y'all, I thought that Jarvis was bringing flowers to Kelly and her glam team, because somebody was like, "Thank you for the flowers," and it wasn't, or "Thank you for our flowers," and it wasn't Kelly. Okay, now somebody on Patreon, shout out to you, said, I think it could have been Shamia saying that. And it could have been Shamia. I'm not sure if it was Shamia or the Glam Squad that said it, but either way, I thought that was really nice, because he could have came in and just only gave something to Kelly, but he didn't. Okay, whether it was the Glam Squad and you brought them something that was nice, or whether it was her and Shamia, I thought that was really sweet. I hate that we did get to meet him. I kind of like the fact that he was a mystery man. You feel what I'm saying? I kind of like that, but hey, he came and Bravo was like, "Listen, he come in this building, baby. We gonna show their face." I don't know what to tell you. He come in this, we gonna have to show the face, and that's what happened. Now, Jarvis done went and created him his own Instagram, and he posting up Kelly and hyping her up. And as of right now, I'm liking Jarvis. Not gonna hold y'all, liking Jarvis. Jarvis is very handsome. Okay, I think he and Kelly are very cute. Do I want to see him on the show a lot next season? No. I don't really want to see any of these people's partners on the show. And I'm liking pretty much everybody that they with. I like that. But I feel like if we get too much of them on the show, they may get on my damn nerves. I'm not finna hold you. And I feel like the show is centered around the wives, so the housewives, okay? Married or not, honey. They're centered around those ladies. So I don't really, and they give enough drama on their own. We don't really need much interaction with the people that they're dating, in my personal. So just get them a few 1-2 scene here or there, and that's it. Cut. All right. Either way, Andy speaks to all of the ladies, and when he gets to Drew says that she did get work done, because that was a question. And she says, but it's not leaking. So she's good. That was shade to K Michelle. Was it necessary to me? Yes and no. I feel like there's gonna be a time to get Kay. Okay. I do feel like Kay did a lot this season when it came to Drew, trying to put something off on her that you created in your head. I don't think that was fair, and I'm sticking by that. Okay. However, that whole comment, I don't think that was necessary at that time. It's not leaking. So, like, what? It can. We won't go there. We can. It might leak. It might. Okay. And it might not be leaking because it got your ass swelling up. Be very clear. Because you look swole sitting over there. You're holding on to the damn fluid. That's why it's not leaking. Like, I ain't like that, Drew. It's something about it. I ain't like that. Okay. K Michelle said, yeah, but that mouth leaking. I holler. Holler. Pinky announces that she's pregnant. Okay. The people were shocked. Not many of us were, because it already has been exposed on social media. She said her mama was mad as fuck. I said, I can imagine, because that's just another child for her to take care of. Don't sound much different than what Cardi B said her parents was going to say, which is why she was delaying on telling their ass she was pregnant with the fourth child. I'm screaming. Okay? What? Either way, that's what's going on. All right. One thing I did like was how the housewives submitted their own questions for each other this season. I was like, okay, that makes it interesting. I mean, did you not get enough questions from the fans? Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. I like it though. I'm not. Let's do that with Potomac too. All right. So, Phaedra, she asked Drew if she still wants to be Black's love of his life or something like that, the love of Black's life. And Drew says that, well, just so y'all know, we still friends. Okay, nothing has changed over there. We're still building the friendship. I'm like, girl, it's been about a year, and y'all still over there building the friendship. Okay. Okay. Kelly said, girl, you just said you love that man. Shamia said, yeah, you said you was in love. Drew said, slow down. Slow down, low down. All right. Shout out to Boy Whatever podcast, honey. Um, because she said, I didn't say that. I didn't say I was in love. You know what I'm saying? In case y'all did not know, I'm freshly out of a divorce. We have not consummated a relationship or anything. And when it comes to dating somebody, I want to be able to date a person that, can be in the lives of my kids. So it don't seem like she can really trust him being in the life of her kids, but she's okay with the friendship. Meanwhile, K. Michelle said, baby, he the wrong one to have around the kids. You're going to have the kids running from the police. That's crazy. So Drew says that she is devastated and he's devastated to hear the news surrounding his business and stuff and what all he's going through. So it's sad. And K. Michelle says that's why I didn't want to be connected to him. K. Michelle, stop your lying. And I want to believe that you're not one to lie. But ma'am, you have done some SHI this season that we have to call out, and it is what it is. Why are you sitting up here talking about that's why you didn't want to be connected to him? If that was the case, you would have said that throughout the season, and you didn't. You didn't. Okay. What you were talking about was being connected to that man in that way, meaning in a sexual way, as you went back and pertained and connected it back to your husband. I'm a married woman. Like, let's stop playing semantics here, but this is what the housewives do. They play semantics. Angela, we're going to get on that in just a minute. School back. Do not fan me right now. Don't put your hands on me. Okay. Drew says K. Michelle is coming from a place with no evidence. Okay. And says that, you did endorse somebody, or you did an endorsement deal with somebody that's now coming after Black. So she says that K. Michelle is getting outside information in so many words. And K. Michelle says, girl, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't want that man. I don't even want that man for you. Okay. It's the fact that he hasn't done right by women at the end of the day, and he over there on the run and he living in Thailand. I said, oh my God. So, okay, Michelle, I'm starting to believe that anything that people send you, you don't vet it. And you just automatically believe it. Okay. I don't believe he's in Thailand. I think the man may have taken a trip here or there. Or either you was just running off at the mouth, just saying whatever. I feel like when people come to you about stuff, you take it as fact. I feel like Angela does a little bit of that too. But then at the same time, Angela she'll just concoct some shit on her own, like for real. The way she concocted this stuff against Phaedra last year, but I see y'all don't want to talk about it too much. It's gonna shake up the image of your favorite. Let's keep going. So Drew says people can say a lot of things, and I know you've experienced it. And Kay is like, yeah, I have experienced it. She said, all right, then you need to be cautious of your own karma to not be out here repeating things that you don't know to be fact. Okay, so K. Michelle says when Drew was trying to put it on her, she was like, she didn't like it or something like that. Like, when you were trying to put it on me, like, I didn't need that. I didn't need that to be put on me. K. Michelle, slow down, low down. Again, shout out to a Boy Whatever podcast. I need you to stop it. You have to cut it out. Stop saying that lady tried to put stuff off on you. You put that off on yourself, my love. My heart, you put it off on yourself. Okay. K. Michelle says Drew does things behind the scenes. Okay. And maybe she do. Maybe you all do. But guess what? That wasn't one of those things. I'm sorry. That was not one of them. It wasn't. You're going to have to stop this. You're going to have to stop. I'm glad that you are learning, though. At the end of this episode, it seemed like you learned a lot as you go into your second season with the show. But you're going to have to stop it. Okay. Shamia asks whether she invested in Black's business. This is what she's asking of Drew. Drew says, no, I did not. And Drew, this way you pissed me off. Okay, you have really been grinding my gears, ma'am. She says, no, that's another narrative. That's another narrative. And we really need to stop perpetuating these things as Black women. We really, oh, do we? Do we need to stop? Do we? Drew, you have truly disappointed me this season. And it really comes off a little bit to me that a lot of what people may have said about you in previous seasons may just be a tad bit valid. Because the way you try to play in the people's face, saying that that's another narrative that we need to not push out there is Black women, this and that. Y'all sure do, especially on that side of the couch. Y'all sure do like to be very selective when y'all are picking up your morals and putting them bitches down. You love to apply it to others, but never to yourself. So Kelly says, wait a minute now. And this is and how Kelly showed up this season, y'all, is never gonna get me to dislike that lady. Only she could do it. Okay. Because she has been saying the things that people have been thinking from the moment she came into the show. Only thing I feel like the biggest thing Kelly has done that I did not like was what about that baby though? I think that was like the biggest thing because I'm like, she ain't even talking to you. Why are you talking about something? What about that baby though, Kelly? Okay, it may have been funny, but Angela wasn't talking to you. Okay, so yeah. Outside of that, she been saying what the people had been thinking. She says, wait a minute. Says a woman who pulled up to somebody else's business to try to put them on blast down to the social media. You need to take your own advice. I said, exactly. Exactly. So Drew says, I was responding to whatever it was that you did. And that's fine, in my opinion, because I do feel like Drew was responding to her. But that's not the issue at hand. The issue at hand is you telling people that they are pushing out a narrative and as Black women they should do better. If you're not going to hold yourself to that standard, shut the fuck for me. Okay. And then turns around and tells Kelly, don't get mad when I play the game better than you. Which game are we talking about? What game are you playing better? What game? What game is being played better? What are you talking about? Because you went to her establishment and showed that she's locked out of the business or whatever, or it closed down. Like, is that the better game? Like, what are you? That's a better game than her. If Kelly wanted to pull a card that they all so desperately tried very hard not to pull, she could talk about being locked out of somewhere on your behalf. She could talk about the game that she's actively doing that you it's a little shaky over there on your end. Let's not and say we did. It's so crazy because I never thought the tide would turn with Drew for me. Okay? Because y'all know that's my girl. But she gonna have to get tapped on. So sorry. Um, Drew calls Kelly a flip flopper or something like no, because she was like, girl, I posted your music. Like, you want to talk like that, but I've supported you. I've put your music in some of my posts and you've reposted it. And Drew was like, yeah, and that shows to the flip flopper that you are or something. And I'm like, so if she not supporting you, it's the issue. And when she do support you, what you talking about? What you talking about? And then she calls her Shakelly. And then she like, why the hell you gotta call me Shakelly? Because you feel like, excuse me, you feel like Shamia is a flip flopper or something. Is that why you call her Shakelly? Confusion. Because if that's the case, and we want to get on flip flop, then what are you and Angela? Being aligned with the very woman that was shading the shit out y'all, and then let others do it. And that's what's so crazy to me because the way that Portia allowed Shamia to come for Drew last season and she sat back on some sit back. And then when Drew asked her, "Are you straight?" Like, I don't care, like da 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 da, acting like she was dismissive, ain't no different than what the fuck Portia doing to Shamia this season. Seeing shit go down and just sitting back. But it's funny how y'all don't see it though. But y'all gonna do what y'all want to do, right? So Kelly calls out Drew. When she called her a flip flopper, called her Kelly. Drew said, "Okay, then Drewski with the P Willie special." She wasn't lying. So Andy brings up Drew looking like Portia. Drew, in my personal, has always looked like Portia. When K Michelle came over here talking about people say we look alike, stop lying. Okay, it was either her that said it or Portia that said it. Stop lying. Who has always resembled Portia to me has been Drew. Always resembled her with the similar facial features, face structure, all of that. Now, okay, they look like it could be like little sis, big sis. It did give that to me. It also gave relative in some fashion. They always favored each other in my eyes. Now, she really does have the P. Willie special because you went and got the rump. I'm not mad at Drew for getting the rump though. Rump was giving pancake like Pinky. It wasn't a bad pancake though. That pancake wasn't stopping the menses. Okay. It wasn't stopping y'all from being married, but I mean, I guess the show stopped that. I don't really know. But either way, okay, she was working with what she had. She could have kept working with it, but she wanted to enhance and used her money on that. But okay, girl, wow, maybe she didn't have to use her money if it was giving promo. Maybe they did a good service for her for free. So, right. But Drew says that, well, I posted it to inspire women and we shouldn't body shame. Oh, we shouldn't, but you came into the reunion body shaming, talking about you not leaking. What we doing? The hypocrisy that was all throughout this reunion is ridiculous. Angela talks about not being jealous of Shamia. Shamia says, okay, well, I guess I'll just stay on your mind then. Okay, she says, so are you going to call Drew, BBL Drew, like you called me BBL Shamia? Angela says, I didn't say BBL Shamia. What I said was this bitch wanted us to see her BBL. Okay, you be putting words in my mouth and you do it a lot. Angela, baby, same difference. Since you like to play semantics, baby, let's play. Same difference. The point is, while you're deflecting, okay, is are you gonna call Drew out for her BBL like you attempted to do with Shamia? Okay, but it fell flatter than your damn pocketbook is the problem for me. Okay, because the lady never had a BBL, and I'm glad she said that. Okay, so what are you gonna talk about hers? Mhm. Okay. So Phaedra, now I feel like when they were sitting here having this conversation, um, Phaedra don't seem to see it for Drew, in my personal. And I say that because when she asked the question about Black, are you trying to be his lover, the love of his life? She answered the question. I think they started to deviate. Phaedra came back and said, well, it seemed like you were really romantically involved, wanted to talk about that, getting her to open up, talk more, right? Then when Kelly was talking about Drew's body, because she posted a picture of Drew's body, Drew said she did it to inspire women, whatever the case was. She dared Kelly to put her body on display. Kelly said, I'll do it. That ain't no thing. I'll do it right now. Okay, because one thing about Kelly gonna show that body. I'm screaming. So Shamia says she always naked. And Phaedra defends Kelly and says that, yeah, Kelly is always naked. Like, yeah, she always showing her body off on IG, girl. It was something about it, and now I just feel like I'm gonna be watching Phaedra and Drew's interaction a little bit more because I don't really think that Phaedra sees it for her. Anywho, okay. The question was who won the read off between Angela and Pinky. It was a tie. I think it was a tie. I think they both did a great job. It was very entertaining from both sides. Okay. It was entertaining. Angela with the commingling teeth, calling her I don't think commingling teeth was that big of a read, I think, at the time. But either way, a lot of people went crazy about it. The Mr. Clean. I do feel like Angela was I know what got me. My favorite part of Angela's read, it wasn't commingling teeth. It was like, BIT, I could throw a rock and hit 10 people you owe. I'm no more good. I am no more good. I loved what Angela said that. And then Pinky standing up like she finna walk off. And she said, oh, you finna leave? She turned around. Well, I ain't finna go nowhere. Like, what's up? Like, the whole scene was everything. So I have to give it to both of the ladies, okay? Because they did their thing. And one thing that I really like about Pinky and Angela is how they had that super shady moment with each other, but by the end of the season, they were good. See, that's what I like to see from Angela. Like, when you rag on the same person the whole season, it's kind of like, all right, nah. Just like I didn't like when Shamia was doing it to Drew last season. So now we get into this new season. Drew is slick paying, Shamia back a bit. However, Angela's ragging on Shamia for the whole season, and Shamia really didn't do that to Angela. High key. Whatever that little thing Angela wants to say, oh, you said I ruined your friendship. Okay, we all know it's not true. What else is going on? And you ragging on her the whole season? Nah, like I like how the Pinky and Angela friendship played out for me. Portia speaks on Sway. She's in love. She talks about Sway being rich and wealthy. I felt like they didn't put the camera on Shamia that entire time when she was talking. Eventually, Andy did ask Shamia a question, and I feel like it's because he didn't see much of a reaction from her, which is why they didn't put the camera on her. Meanwhile, you got K Michelle and Kelly over there smiling. So Kelly seems to be really happy for Portia, and now I see Portia and Kelly just got this back and forth thing going on. They just got this. Kelly is like stepping into the Kenya, and she's owning it, and she don't mind. And I'm gonna call you bitches out, and if you don't like it, so be it. I said what I said. Okay, well we won't go there. We can. Okay, that's what Kelly is giving, and I love it. Right. So she's they're all smiling talking. Andy asked Shamia, how does she feel about Sway and that relationship with Portia? Truth be told, Shamia, you should have kept it short. For me, it would have gave her life, her choice, happy. You don't want to elaborate? Her life, her choice, happy. Her life, her choice, happy. You need her life, her choice, happy pride. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her life. Mm-hmm. That's what it. Mhm. Yeah. No, I have no words. Mm-hmm. Like she would have got shit else up out of me, but the fact that you be elaborating, like it just. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you do it. I don't know if you try to take the high road. You're asked a question, you're gonna respond. Girl, you ain't got to give a whole lot. You ain't got to give. Shamia, I feel like she was taking the high road. She was saying she was happy for her. She wants her to be in love. Whatever. Happy pride. Okay. They talk about the happy pride comment. Portia felt like Shamia was being shady. So she gave a light shade back. The girl wasn't being shady at all. Whether it was June, it was August, it was January, it was December. If you are in a relationship with the same sex and you are happy about it and you're in love, baby, happy pride. Happy pride. Because you can receive it from Andy, though. And I'm glad Shamia clocked that T. And you can receive a cake from Drew. Somebody that slick out of her damn self talking about, I'm not just trying to be like me, but don't want to be honest and be forthcoming with it outright. I guess she's afraid of her mama's, congregation or something judging her. I don't know. However, you could receive it from others, but not from her. Like she said, I could have said a whole lot worse. It was a lot that I could have said. But I said what I said. What else is going on? It is what it is. You happy? Good. Okay. That's why it would have been given dust. Nothing. Don't ask me shit about that. Don't ask me nothing. And Shamia, you should take a page out of that book this season. People was kept coming to you asking you about Portia. Rarely did they ever go to Portia asking Portia about Shamia. I wouldn't have said nothing. And that's part of why they went to you, because they knew you was gonna answer. For what? I'm not answering. Don't ask me shit about that hoe. Okay, good luck. Best of luck. What's going on? Drew was asked about dating a woman. Kelly says Drew does everything Portia does. I hollered. Cause I said, listen, in the next 2 seasons, I would not be surprised if I saw an African in a piece of a woman. I'm not finna hold you. After getting the piece special, I'm not finna hold you at this point. Um, what else happened? So then Drew, she didn't really answer the question though. All she did was really highlight the love that Sway gives to Portia. And so that's what that was. She didn't really say anything else like, oh yeah, I like dating women, da 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 da. I've had my share. None of that. She just highlight. I was just talking about the love that they give each other. Okay. Okay, Michelle doesn't want Drew, or she said she doesn't wish Drew any bad. She was asked about the music. She don't wish her no bad. She wishes her the best. Drew says thanks. That's better than what you was calling me earlier in the season, a loser. Okay, Michelle says, girl, if we going back and forth, then I'm gonna say some SHI to hurt you. It is what it is. I ain't got no malice against you and your music for real. And Drew says, I'm confused because it wasn't a going back and forth. It was just coming for it. Both of y'all are right. Both of y'all are right. When K Michelle was going back and forth with Drew at the table, because that's where the back and forth was. When if she did say anything about music, it makes sense. People gonna say stuff to hurt the other person in an argument. However, for a majority of the season, I'm with Drew. It was coming for her. It was you coming forth because I ain't do shit to you. Barely had a conversation with you, but I'm plotting on you. Girl, sit back. Scoot back. Get you a pillow and sit back. Okay. Andy asked Drew about her divorce. Drew says they are focused on the kids. Andy asked about primary custody. Drew says it's a gag order. I bet it is. And I bet you were the one to request it. Because Ralph, who has spent a lot of time wanting to blast you or air you out or whatever, he about ready to talk about it. So I believe that she gagged ordered that. So Phaedra, and this is the segment where I feel like the ladies, more so Kelly, probably wanted to dive deeper into that, but likely scaled back, in my opinion, as a mom, right? Because that is just like a difficult situation, regardless of what it is, how it happened. It's a difficult situation, and I do believe, regardless of what has been put out there, I do believe those ladies believe that Drew does care about her children. And she loves her children or whatever. So I feel like it was sensitive. They didn't lean into it like they probably wanted to. Okay, when it come down to the custody of them kids, but it was all right. However, Phaedra did say this. Okay, Phaedra says, "Well, the parent that has, the parent um that has custody is the primary parent, okay, or something like that, or whoever child support is owed to is the primary parent, something like that." I don't know what else happened because then they jump cut to another topic, but Phaedra definitely put that out there because Kelly was like, "Well, maybe Phaedra can speak to it." And I feel like that was Kelly's way of indirectly getting that tea to come to the front about Drew without having to really go at her about her motherhood a bit. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Kelly was asked about being jealous of Portia getting a better deal than her when it comes to the house. Kelly says, "Girl, never." Portia says she can't be worried about Simon's bills, baby, because she need to be worried about Shamia's bills and her house, okay? Don't worry about this house, worry about that house. And Kelly said, "Well, let's straighten that up right now. Because some of you girls seem to be fucking confused, okay? Don't let this season fool you hoes, okay? I was awarded my house because she said, first of all, I stayed in Shamia's house for 2 weeks until mine was ready. Be very clear about that. And me not living in that townhouse was a choice by me because I couldn't get along with that HOA hoe. So I chose to move. I wasn't put out of a fucking thing. I chose to leave. Okay. She helped me out. I stayed over there while my shit got ready because I needed to get out of that very quickly. It is what it is. Portia says, she's maintained Simon's house and his bills very well. And Kelly said, "Well, I'm glad that you're paying his bills." Portia says, "You shouldn't be discrediting women when you're looking for support. Don't all of y'all do that? Wasn't Drew just sitting up there wanting some support? Okay, about not body shaming and all of this, not being talked about because of her body, but then she can do it to K. Michelle. Make it make sense. Y'all all do it. And here's the thing. All of y'all do it, but Kelly never asked for support from you. Okay? Not from you in particular." So then Portia says, "Well, I was awarded the house. Like, how is it not my house? I was awarded the house." And Kelly says, "And I was awarded my house," which she was. Kelly was awarded that house. She didn't want to move back in there, motherfucker. She sold that home. And she got the money from it. Okay? So Portia gonna tell this lady, "You had to sell your house." No, 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 no. She didn't have to. You did though. Now the judge ordered you to sell that house that you just sold when you came on TV and said, "Oh, me and my financial people got together and whoop de whoop de whoop." No, 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 no. I heard the judge say when you get ready to refinance house, actually before you refinance the house that you're in, you have to sell the previous home. And truth be told, it was a good financial decision in my opinion. Why pay for both of them? Like, sell that bitch, get the equity out of it if you can. If you can afford to buy your mama house, go buy your mama house and then just stay in the house that you at. But don't act like that lady had to do this or that and you didn't have to do what you had to do. Like, come on now. Either way, Kelly says, "Is that not Simon's house?" Portia says, "How is it when I'm paying the bills?" Okay. And then he'll go, "Angela, whose name is on the deed? Whose name is on the deed?" At the time that the reunion was filmed, Kelly was not wrong. Kelly was not wrong at the time. So while Angela was running her mouth, Portia's name was not on the deed. Portia's name is now being added to the deed. Portia's name wasn't on the deed nor the damn mortgage. Okay? Either who, I just feel like this lady be sitting up there playing in y'all face and y'all be okay with it because y'all don't care. Y'all don't be caring, but as soon as y'all swear she right in a situation, y'all be trying to come to us for us to avenge her ass. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, we're gonna play them same games y'all play. Angela then brings up the move around. Okay, Angela and Kelly now going back and forth. Angela says that she didn't have to borrow money from Gary. Andy's like, who's Gary? I'm like, who's Gary? Is that the ex-husband? Or is that somebody else that you had to borrow money from? Like, what's really going on? Was that money borrowed? What's going on? Okay, I think I seen a post about that on Twitter. I gotta go and look. I gotta go look in there. That may be another video. But yeah, so what's going on? What's going on, Kelly? I felt like Angela in that segment was doing a little too much. Andy had no issues with Portia and Kelly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But soon as Miss Double Dutch hopped in, Miss Angela, okay, Andy had to go get the clapper for her. So, right? They said, all right, that's enough. Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's move on. We learned that Phaedra and Portia both dated Mike. I feel like that ain't even the person they dated. I feel like the person they about dated together, they didn't want to say, and they just said they both dated Mike. But okay. K. Michelle talks about Nash and her and Portia not telling her that they were dating, even though, because once she learned that these two ladies, Portia and Phaedra, dated the same person, she said, damn, I would have loved for that to have come up. And I remember Phaedra saying it in the confessional. And I think I may have mentioned something about that too. Like, as far as like, why you ain't saying that then, Phaedra? But either way, because you felt like you needed to tell Portia that. So I felt like it validated K. Michelle and feeling like Portia could have let her know that too. Right? Portia says, but girl, he was never in the crossfire of you and I. Okay. She says she was trying to get to know Kay. Right? I don't know how I feel like their conversation was all over the place too, because they went from talking about dating, Naj, to K. Michelle being in an interview calling Portia a bitch. Portia says she texts Kay after she saw her going in on Twitter or whatever it was, the interview, saying, girl, I never meant to insult you. I was never trying to hurt you. I didn't mean anything by the miscarriage comment. It was never to go against you. It was none of that. K. Michelle like, okay, girl, thank you for telling me. And then she get back online. She talking shit. K. Michelle like, yeah, that was because you went and got on that interview with that guy. I think they talking about Carlos King, because I don't know of no other interview, excuse me, that Portia may have done, unless it was some for ET. I'm not sure. But she said you went and got in that interview, right? And you let that man tell you that I was bashing you and this, that, and the other. And Portia said, wait a minute, BIT, I cannot be led in an interview like the rest of you new girls. What? I feel like all of y'all can absolutely be led in an interview. Okay, so K. Michelle says, well, yeah, if not, then it's because you PR trained. Portia said, I'm not PR trained. I've lived a life. K. Michelle said, you lived a lot of lives. Okay, just a lot going on. At some point, K. Michelle tells Portia to go be the star that she's not. I fell out. I said, girl, I thought she was going to say, go on, Portia, go be a star like you are. She said, girl, go be the star that you are not. On the floor. You know why? Because as much as Portia has been sitting here saying this is her show, K. Michelle, in my opinion, is determined that this will now be her show. And I'm just going, that's just what I think. That's what I think. That's what it is. I think that K. Michelle is going to try and make this her show. This is my show. It was your show before I was here. Now I'm here. What's going on? What? It's crazy. So, anywho, they discuss casting, right? Talk about casting. K. Michelle said she'll never break up over cheating. I feel like a lot of women won't. A lot of them won't. Okay, at least you coming down here speaking your truth. Even though you may have drugged Rashida ass or something. I'm not sure if you drug her for that or not. However, Rashida was quick to say, "I'm not leaving Kirk. Y'all want me to leave Kirk? He out there. I'm not doing none of that." Okay. Well, at least, hey, I can't be mad if you're gonna be honest about your own who the hell am I? And it ain't my relationship, it's yours. Okay. What some people can deal with, others can't. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. And I feel like K. Michelle, a deal breaker in that relationship would not be him cheating, and it would not be him having a baby with somebody else. Because K. Michelle will be ready to take that, especially if it's a little girl, take that child in like it's hers. And she's taking in other people's little kids. Okay, but let's keep going. All right. She says she believes that all men cheat. So she's not gonna let a few strokes, throw away what she got going on with this man that she been with since high school. So then she brings up, surgery and how having surgery may have taken a toll on her body. She may not be into it. I don't know the situations that surgery has caused her, but she says he's never come to her and told her that while you're going through this, I'm gonna go over here and get mine. Unlike Maurice, let me not. Because Maurice didn't technically do that over there on Love and Marriage Huntsville. He just put Kimmy in a position to, like, if you don't do it, I may do this. So even though you done had cancer, you need to come down here and get on all fours or whatever the case is. All right. And do what you gotta do. You need to let me not, because he pissed that. Just a thought. But K. Michelle says that's not what he said or anything like that. But it sounds like she would be understanding to it if he did. So Shamia calls out Drew for the leaking comment, telling her, like, hey girl, you know, what you just said to Kay earlier, knowing what all she's talking about now, like, that wasn't cool. All right. So I guess they're asking for an apology from Drew. Drew said, I was talking about myself. K. Michelle said, girl, but you was really directing it at me, ho. And she's right. You were. Angela then jumps in and says, Shamia, you are the last person. You are the last person to be saying anything. Angela, you are the last person. Is K. Michelle not your friend? Was y'all not just doing press conference before the season and stuff? Y'all was so locked in. Why don't you just sit out of it? Because even though Drew's your friend just sat up here and took a shot at your other friend. But you got such a hard on for Shamia because Shamia gave your ass that cease and desist, huh? You about to jump out your body. Baby, I'm on the floor about it. Okay? On the floor about it. So, okay, Michelle and Drew over there going back and forth, going back and forth. Let me tell you something, Shamia. This is where you need to take a page out the book. And it might be the book of Drew or the book of Housewives. Did you see how you brought that up to Drew with the expectation that Drew may likely apologize to K. Michelle or take accountability or whatever? Did you see Drew do either? Did you see Drew do either? Did you see Drew deflect? Now, she might apologize by the end of the reunion, but in that moment, did you see that? I'm going to need you to get on that energy. And I'm not sorry. And I'm not giving no apology. I'm not doing it. I'm looking forward to the world where the housewives are on something. I'm not doing that. I ain't giving you, I'm not apologizing for what? Y'all love some conflict and resolution only for us to be right back where we was last season. No, not getting it from me. Said it before, I'll say it again, depending on what you say to me and how you make me feel. It is what it is. K. Michelle and Drew, like I said, they went back and forth. K. Michelle discusses suing the doctor, right? Knowing she got the procedure she got with her body. She's still dealing with issues. Did she think about suing the doctor? Sounds like she didn't because she felt like she did it herself. Maybe she didn't feel like she had a leg to stand on or something, okay? The doctor's still out here doing what he doing to the people, okay? And they made it seem like it was here in Atlanta. And I'm like, is that here in Atlanta? Or was that somewhere else? Where she got that work done at? Is he still doing it in the basement? Girl, that's scary. Y'all not scared? Y'all not scared? Okay. So she said she needed this experience because Andy asked her what she gonna take away from it. She said, I needed this experience to learn how to socialize with women. Right? And knowing how to have the issue, likely take accountability, apologize if that's what we want to do, and being able to move forward and not holding on to stuff. And Phaedra says, I feel like based on her history with women and what she's been through, she got some PTSD and she came on the show misunderstood. Slow down, low down. Okay, because I feel like there was an opportunity for Kay to be understood. Kay had herself being misunderstood and continuing to be misunderstood a bit in the reunion when she don't really expose the plot that she said it was. She kind of gave some names. She hinted at some stuff, yes, but that's when the moment of misunderstanding came in, okay? Kay says that she would have allowed for things to take place instead of trying to get in front of it. She says she wouldn't have listened to outsiders, and Portia says her experience was altered. She was excited. And before we even get to Portia, right, because they still asking who was the people in her head, she gonna say it was a lot of bloggers that said people called and asked about her. Asked them about her. Who is these bloggers? Because I only heard of one, and that would be Jason Lee. So who is these bloggers that received a phone call from these ladies asking about K. Michelle? I don't agree with that. I do believe it was at least Jason Lee that received a call because Jason Lee confirmed that Phaedra was one of the ones to call and inquire. Okay. Then Andy said, were these people on the show that knew people? And she was like, yeah, like Nosh. Nosh told her some stuff. She says the bloggers, I think it's blogger. And then she said a hairdresser. I did feel like it may have been some, because to me, a lot of these ladies cross use stylists, whether it's hairstylists, fashion stylists, whatever. I feel like they use a lot of the people. And I feel like sometimes y'all be so freely talking about stuff, they may hear some stuff or whatever, they may take it back potentially. Okay, so I do feel like that's very, very possible. Portia feels like K Michelle's experience was altered. By who though? I guess the outside people talking, but she's been doing this reality game long enough to just let the shit play out, truth be told. And so she says that she was excited to meet Kay, and then Portia, then what Portia be doing too damn. She gonna lay it on thick doing too damn much. Just like she did at the table when she awarded Phaedra for her birthday, acting like she ain't never had no other friend outside of Phaedra. Stop that. Okay? Don't sit up there and talk about, I ain't had no friends before this. I was really looking forward to you because before Phaedra, I had nobody. Everybody was against me and this, that whole time you was against Drew. I'm on the floor. So Drew, she talking about you too. Crazy work. Everybody was against me. Da, 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 da. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Okay. They discussed the miscarriage comment. Portia said she didn't mean any harm by the comment at all. K Michelle was asked about rushing her friendship with Kelly and Shamia. The short answer was no. Somebody asked her, do you feel like you rushed to be friends with them instead of giving the other ladies a fair chance? First of all, I'll be very clear. Majority of these ladies got a fair chance to get to know K Michelle. Pinky already knew her. Angela and her became close. Her and Phaedra became close. If Portia wanted to be closer to K Michelle, that very well could have happened. Okay. I feel like K Michelle gave everybody the same equal opportunity except for damn Drew, in my personal. Hell, Portia was the first person she came in to film with. So again, if Portia did not get that fair chance with K Michelle, that was on K Michelle. High key to me. Everybody had that fair chance. And part of that would be on how Portia showed up. I feel like K Michelle saw mean girl antics coming from Portia, which is why she sat down with her after she tried to out Kelly for messing with somebody during BET weekend, saying she was the receipt. And I feel like because she saw that, I think that lends itself to the quote unquote PTSD that Phaedra was talking about. And so she kind of stood back off Portia ass. Kelly, Shamia, and K Michelle all bonded down in Texas with not having their shit together. You ain't got your makeup artist, your people here to do your hairstyle. They got a terrible ass, outhouse, whatever it was, pool house. Okay, pool house, outhouse, whatever it was, they didn't like it. Okay. Kay says that she bonded with I'm saying this, that she bonded with her over the mean girl activity, right? Kay and Shamia ended up getting into it though at the end of it all. Shamia says that it was all over her friends that she had. Okay, Michelle didn't like the fact that Shamia kept telling her she got to be loyal to her. My friends don't even want me around you. You got to be loyal to me. Basically, Shamia was telling her ass, everybody in the cast turning on my ass. And I just can't afford for you to turn on me too. So if you are friends with them, okay, cool, be friends with them. But I'm also friends with people that don't like you. And I'm still being loyal to you. So I feel like Shamia may have wanted the same in return. I'm not telling you not to be cool with those people. Shit, I'm cool with people that don't like your ass. But I'm still not going to allow that to affect the friendship that we got going on. So I will hope that you don't do the same when it comes to that side of the group. Because everybody seemed to be against me. I very well understand what Shamia was saying, and you would think K Michelle will understand that as well, considering the fact that you have sat in a position of being the oddball on your own show and in quote unquote Atlanta, and you've also witnessed it on this very show. So what you're witnessing it on the very show and you defended Shamia, why is it now an issue that Shamia would even ask you that? Now it does give that you try to be over there on that side because you try to have an issue with Shamia, acting like you don't understand where she was fucking coming from. And truth be told, you wanted to hang out with Candy now. Why the fuck you trying to hang with women that don't like you? You know Candy finna be loyal to Toya and finna be loyal to Rashida. Them her people. If it came down to it, she got a longer history with them than anything. So yeah, I'm confused on that. I don't really, in this moment, I don't feel like what Shamia was asking of K Michelle was wrong. I think she asked K Michelle because K Michelle could relate, right? Especially amongst this group of people. So those are my thoughts. But y'all, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's all I got. I'll catch y'all in the next one, honey. Bye, y'all.